What a time to be an Arsenal fan. Arsenal just confirmed the signing of Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad to Arsenal yesterday on Sunday, and that was quite unexpected and everything like that. Talk about a team that everybody has kind of been scrutinizing that they're not making a whole lot of noise, and now they are moving with like a massive speed, massive everything. I think Grabber fans are probably shaking in their boots right now. It's really an interesting time to be an Arsenal fan. Viktor Gyokeres as well, finally the number 9 striker that every Arsenal fan has been clamoring for, is finally coming to the Emirates Stadium. It's not confirmed yet, but according to Fabrizio Romano, there's a deal in place when it comes to personal terms, and now it's all about the club to club, negotiations and everything, and that takes a whole lot of time and everything. And how Sporting, they've been kind of stubborn about him moving. They want this particular amount and they are not ready to budge. I think it's so interesting because it was Sheshko, was looking like it was going to be Sheshko.
And Levy too, but not also really need to go down from their valuation.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of wise because paying that amount of money for a raw player has not really paid for a big club. Yeah, it's a whole lot of that's like it's 80 million pounds or something. Too much. So according to Fabrizio Romano now, Fabrizio Romano says that Arsenal are now getting closer to signing Viktor Gyokeres after new round of talks in recent hours. Gyokeres will not return to training at Sporting Lisbon. He's fully focused on leaving the club. Arsenal are now advancing. So, if you're an Arsenal fan like myself, I'm very sure you'll be, happy, excited to finally have the number 9 that we've all been, praying for a while now. Also, another news coming up this morning from Fabrizio Romano as well is that Gyokeres is also willing to give up 2 million euros of his salary in order to facilitate negotiations between Arsenal and Sporting. I think the last time I saw a player this committed to like this eager to actually join a club was actually Calafiori to Arsenal as well. He was so eager as well. But it's actually really going to be interesting. If you're joining us for the first time, this is Sideline Inside Football, also everything football related. So we're going to be talking a whole lot from the latest news about the world of transfers, obviously, because that is like the period, that's the season we are in right now, the period we're in right now. And I'm going to be talking about the Euros, the women's Euros currently ongoing, and then our very own WAFCON as well, the main women's tournament in the world of football. So a whole lot to talk about. So where should we start from? I think we already talked about Arsenal announcing Martin Zubimendi on a Sunday. I think I was in church when I saw the news. So Zubimendi to Arsenal, done, saved and delivered, made the announcement video. And did you see the announcement video?
Yeah, I think they used it in Nigeria. I don't know if it was in Nigeria, but in South Nigeria.
Okay, the drumming.
Yeah, the whole sound behind
I don't know, but I feel like
but his name actually does sound a whole lot of like. I thought that is it a night? I'm not. I thought I said I was going to check, but I haven't checked the name.
I don't know. I didn't even think about Nigeria when I was like, okay, this is actually a different way to announce.
Nice
sign. That's actually a nice touch from us now.
Yeah, just like the Burnley team have been doing too.
Also moving,
very interesting
as well. Well, no, the Madueke looks like he's going to be joining Arsenal as well. The player is open to a move, and now negotiations are currently ongoing between both teams, between Arsenal and Chelsea. Let me now ask you now, why is it that Arsenal was always sign one player from Chelsea? Is there something going on behind the scenes that we don't know between the two owners, because they're both Americans? And I don't know why.
I doubt it. I feel it's just not wanting to change the environment, and if you see a chance of moving to a club in the same location, you probably just take it open hand. And plus, I feel it's Arsenal. Arsenal seem like they are types of challengers. And yes.
Do you think Madueke is actually going to elevate, Arsenal attack next season?
I doubt he's coming in as someone who's going to elevate or elevate.
But like,
I think he's just coming in as a sub option.
Do you think he's actually, willing to be a backup to Bukayo Saka, obviously?
I feel he will have to think about all those things. Why?
Because he's also struggling for game time from Chelsea, at Chelsea currently. So they're moving from Chelsea to Arsenal. Does that really make a lot of sense to you?
I don't know. Let's say, does it make sense? I wouldn't say it does
not make sense.
I feel Chelsea clearly sent him as a project winger to keep on developing and keep on continuously playing. And he has actually played a whole lot of games for the Chelsea side. But if Chelsea cannot guarantee him that, and if he's going to Arsenal is now the next move. I feel it's a very interesting one though. But like I said, it's probably going to be a sub option, and we just have to accept it. And I feel he'll have thought about all these things before making the move.
Well, we'll see. Only time we'll tell how that one pans out. But me as an Arsenal fan, no, I'm very sure that of course the fan base is divided. So in fact, 80% of them are not in support of Noni Madueke because we're just tired of getting Chelsea rejects and everything like that. But
what if he eventually comes very well?
I get it. Like some people rate him. I personally do not. But he has a whole lot of opportunity to prove himself now. But my only concern is Ethan Nwaneri. Is it going to affect Nwaneri?
There's been about talk about Nwaneri going to Chelsea.
That cannot happen. That would be like the dumbest thing that Arsenal would do.
Is stalling and all those types of things.
Yeah.
But you don't know. I feel like a friend of mine said it's probably something from his agents. His agent moved Chido Obi Martin to Manchester United.
So they have the same agent.
Yeah, so he's probably trying to stall the deal and eventually see him move or get a bigger contract from the Arsenal.
No, I don't even think it's about the wage. I think it's about the playing time.
Yeah, maybe. I feel everything will go hand in hand.
Like you need to get that guarantee that he's going to be playing for.
Well, what's the guarantee he will actually play if he even goes to Chelsea?
This is like the worst place to go.
Exactly. So
if he actually wants a play that, maybe he should get a loan to somewhere else and prove himself.
Yeah,
and then
sign a new contract.
A formidable,
maybe a Burnley or a Sunderland.
Yeah, and obviously not going to Arsenal because he's not going to play against his parents.
So it's just going to be like that.
But I don't want Nwaneri to go on loan. I want him to stay at Arsenal. And let's go to Eze. Eze is still pending. Nothing about that one. No new. Rodrigo to Arsenal is not starting to kind of come up a little bit. Like it's like a storm that is starting to brew. But we don't know, Sha. We don't know.
I feel it's going to be interesting. Arsenal signs all these attacking players.
Man, I think it's going to be a late transfer drama. Transfer bomber that's going to happen a whole lot of time. Maybe towards the end of August or something.
And maybe Rodrigo also hasn't played for.
When La Liga starts, I think that time you will finally know where he's at the club with Alonso and Real Madrid.
I think Alonso favors winning
over him. Obviously.
And even Aragula. He hasn't even played a right winger the last week. So it's going to be an interesting one.
Now with the guy from Garcia.
Garcia
also coming up as well. So I think it's really difficult to understand what will happen there. And then the latest news. Interesting. Interesting time. I think the latest, another one we have that will kind of happen this morning. Still Hernandez of AC Milan to Al Hilal. That was actually another bomber from nowhere. I didn't even know he had links to Al Hilal and everything like that. But from AC Milan to Al Hilal, what do you think about that one?
I really just going there for the money and to see what can happen in next few years. Because the Al Hilal, maybe he was moved by the project. Because I still remember, even before the club was started, Al Hilal came to him and was like, "Oh, you should move." Then he rejected them. Then they now came back again with an improved offer, and he has decided to move. So I feel he's probably watched them in the club top and see what they could do.
And he's actually impressed. Actually, they look good at the club top.
And they seem look like they are a sinking ship. If you look
honestly,
if you look at their attack and their whole team, the season they had last year, I think they finished 8th. And they are going to a conference league or Europa League. So it's better to just jump ship and just move to where you get a whole lot of money.
They need a rebuild, honestly. They need a rebuild.
Them and
Inter. And even Manchester United, obviously. Now let's talk about the Women's Euro. I think we're just going to talk about the game that went down yesterday between two games actually. Group K, Norway beat Finland. I think they are probably going to win this group. They have 6 points already. And then the host country, Switzerland, also did their job against Iceland. They beat Iceland 2-0. Norway beat Finland 2-1. So it's actually going to be, I think Norway, I said it on the show now, another separate show that, they are the dark horses of this competition. They have not really like a whole lot of quality compared to like of Spain, England, and France, and all of those things. But I think they've got like, a whole lot of experience as well.
Yeah, they have experience.
And if eventually they get to the semi-final, I think they'll probably, maybe pull an upset or something and do something that nobody kind of expects them to do.
It depends on how it goes for them in the competition, but I feel
this group they've qualified already. They've qualified. They just need to get a draw in their next game. I think that'll be between Iceland or something. So they just need to get a draw. Iceland, they need to get a draw, and they'll be, they will top the group because they have 6 points. Switzerland, the second place, has 3 points. So let's talk about Group B. Of course, Spain Spain will be facing Belgium today, and Portugal will be facing Italy as well. So the other games will be going down in Group C and Group D respectively. Group D, of course, the group of death, the most difficult group, and the shocker will receive the shocker because France, in my opinion, the shocker. Maybe not to you, because France beat England. I was actually expecting a draw in that game, but
yeah. Personally, I think I would have expected both teams to come out, but France took the game to England, and now I think the errors of Kirill and Lucy Bronze.
Yeah, they were just sloppy in that game.
I actually remember in the Women's Champions League when the Barcelona side faced the Chelsea, there were a whole lot of Chelsea women's fans that complained that, oh, why was Lucy Bronze brought back? Oh, why was Kirill brought back? They are giving issues to us, this and that and that. And I feel they are just way past it. They are other side of 30, and they should just be moving on. And I still remember they said Russo scored an offside goal. And her brother now went on Instagram and started posting this and that. All those type of things makes it interesting.
Calm down. I know they're defending champions. They are feeling the pressure and everything. Especially
but it's not the first game of the competition.
It's not the first game, so they still have time to bounce back. They just have to win their next 2 games, which is also not because they have Netherlands and
they
have to
maybe.
I think the only game that is kind of still easy, probably. Sorry, no disrespect to Wales. It's just the Wales.
I feel I doubt there's any disrespect there. They are that bad.
They're that bad.
This is their first outing in the competition, so
thank you.
You don't expect them to put up a fight.
Yeah, I think we talked about Manchester United. Just like take it back. We didn't talk about Manchester United.
Yeah, we didn't.
Nothing really new. They're still like dragging the Mbeumo saga rather. They're still very, very, very like in it, and they're struggling to find a mutual ground between themselves and Brentford. And I'm very sure that even when the signing comes, do you think Manchester United fans will still be like super happy to see Mbeumo finally? Because this thing, we've known this since the end of last season.
Yeah, I feel that every new signing has a new rush. If it's an attacker. So yes, I feel they'll feel okay. We have someone who scored 19 goals in the Premier League last season.
But do you think he's going to replicate that season? Do you think he overachieved?
Yeah, he overachieved by a whole.
Because they didn't have a striker last season.
Whole lot.
They had like Chief Wissa.
Yeah, him
and Mbeumo.
And he was also taking penalties. So.
Yeah, so
yes, he really overachieved. I doubt he gets 10 goals again next year. I highly doubt he gets 10 goals.
I think he's going to get
I think he'll get it.
At least 10 goals.
I think he's going to get it.
Assist
maybe when he actually improved.
Maybe assist. But there are a whole lot of people to make assist. It's always been interesting to see how Mbeumo, Konya and Bruno Fernandes actually work.
I think Ruben Amorim loves playing Bruno deeper in the central midfield. And if they don't eventually
so like an 8 or something.
If it's not eventually signed in central midfielder, Bruno has to cover there and Mbeumo and Konya. And maybe it's X because I doubt United are interested in any striker. But they're interested in moving on Højlund. So that's where you could say, okay, maybe they sell Højlund. Zexi comes in number 9. And maybe Chido Obi Martin plays more games this particular season.
Who do you think is going to go for the Højlund now? Well, let's talk about that one later. That's a video for another day. Now let's talk about our very own WAFCON, the Women's African Women's African Cup of Nations. Thank you very much. Yeah, so let's talk about that. And of course, the games started on the 5th of July. I saw a game between Morocco and Zambia. That was like a very nice kickoff. Yeah, a very nice like a level raise and just like a spectacular opener. Actually, I like the energy. I like the fact that it was fierce and it was what I predicted. I actually predicted a 1-1 draw, but still ended in a draw, a 2-2 draw to Morocco. And what did make of the game? Performance of the Zambian girls, and I think it was actually those that were expected to perform that performed as well.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a very interesting game. And that's what I expect from a competition. Mind starting a competition and the home team also performing.
Yeah.
At the first time it was 2-1 to the Zambian side. The Moroccan side came back, and I feel the Moroccan side considered it wrong because of the silly penalty to give away. That penalty could have easily not been a penalty. She just stood on your ground, and she was even going, let's say, wider of the post. So yes, so there was no reason for you to actually make that happen. But it shows that African football is interesting. Yes, because in the last few years, you'll probably be seeing that they are winning that game 6-0.
Yeah.
As easy as that. But now they have more fierce competition in those type of games. So yes, that's what we are looking forward to. It looks like it's going to be an interesting competition. the North African side. Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah, let's look at the second part of Group A. The team that let's say a team that they consider that the whipping boys and that they have a whole lot of work to do, and that's DR Congo. They lost to Senegal 4-0. I mean, that's like the biggest scoreline margin that we have so far in the competition. So who do you back actually make it out of Group A for you?
I think it's going to be Zambia
and Morocco.
Zambia, Morocco, and Senegal qualifying as best third place.
Morocco qualifying. Senegal qualifying as the best. Yes. Okay, because two top teams that has the most points, maybe best losers, or how do we call them, will make it to the quarterfinals as well. And now let's talk about our very own Super Falcons of Nigeria. It was actually more like a routine game yesterday. They should have won, but they beat
6-7.
Yeah, they beat Tunisia by 3 goals to nothing. They beat Tunisia 3 goals to nothing. So, and I was actually impressed, with the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then it got boring and then everything like that. But the only thing that I will still bring you up on board on this one is the fact that I don't like the fact that we are not really clearly in front of goal. That game should have ended like 5-0 first half. They were not really doing enough to win all of those games like that. So it's really going to be interesting to see how they react coming up when they face tougher opponents. But looking at that game was not really convincing, honestly. But they did their job. They won 3 points. They're not going to get carried away. They still have a whole lot of work to do. So what did
there's a whole lot of work to do for the Nigerian Super Falcons. I feel that game against a tougher opponent is really a loss or a draw. So there were a whole lot. And one thing I like about the players is that they knew they had this issue. Because after the game, during an interview, Babajide and even Tontre also said that we had a whole lot of chances to have actually scored a whole lot more goals, but we didn't do that. So yes, we are going to improve on that. That's one important thing. But my issue is constantly going to be the quality of the attackers we have. You can say we are going to create, but the quality of the attackers we have. Are you sure? Okay, you say we are going to score more, but the quality of the attackers we will not score more. If you look at the first goal from Assistant, I'm going to tell you what this week. There's no two ways about it.
What do you have with Asad Oshuala?
I don't feel she's way past it, and she's been there because she's a big lady in Nigeria.
You still need that presence because it goes like strike.
Yeah, but you also need good players to not just presence eventually.
I get it, but.
I think
the person that should not be making that team is actually Onumono. I don't.
Yeah, she came in and she was not.
She was not efficient. She was not efficient at all. Yeah. So, but I think they say a whole lot. This is the first game. We cannot really scrutinize them that much.
They will scrutinize themselves. They said
they know. So I think the good thing is they know where their issue is.
Yes.
And they're willing to improve. So I think
hopefully they actually do improve.
They actually do improve. Hopefully. And then the second part of would be Algeria also beat Botswana. And I think, of course, in this group B, the favorites to actually to top the group is probably Nigeria. If we don't top this group. If we don't touch this, I don't even know.
If we don't touch, we are probably going to be playing in Zambia.
Yeah, and we don't want the Mission X, the hype, the Mission X, the hype and everything. The last thing we want to do is actually
very early. And I think we are going to get knocked out to face it up.
Honestly, I think maybe if we are going to get knocked out, so are you saying that you don't think that the Super Falcons have?
I doubt they can win it. I doubt. I'm going to tell you that if you're asking me based off that game, I'm going to say my hope of winning is reduced because the Nigerian side didn't show that.
Why are you so negative like this?
I'm not being negative.
You have to support your
there's a difference between optimism and being delusional. And I feel the Nigerian.
I'm being delusional.
No. I feel the whole
Mission X.
I feel the Mission X has been a whole lot of delusion to the Nigerian people. They say, okay, we are going to go there, we are going to win it.
Mission X.
Who are your players who are actually going to win it for you?
We have Ajibade now. We have Morisola, Babajide.
You look at Payne, all those type of people.
Yeah.
For sure, we have quality, but my issue is we will consistently score if we face a tougher side. Because I feel it was even very easy to get between the Tunisian side.
Honestly,
2-3 passes.
Honestly, I think the game should have been done and dusted first half.
And we didn't now score a whole lot of goals to now meet up with us. So now imagine.
Even the third goal was more like,
So now imagine we now face a tougher team. We now find it harder to create chances. And these girls still now end up missing the chances they end up creating. So what else are you going to see from there?
Yeah, I get you. So Algeria, Botswana, one goes to Nigeria beat Botswana, one goes. I think Botswana are like the whipping boys.
A whole lot of clean sheets.
Yeah.
Everybody that wins keeps clean sheets.
That's true. Although Morocco and Zambia are actually the only side. They are the only side to have conceded goals so far in the competition. Let's look at South Africa. Obviously, Group C. That's like the group of death in this competition.
Yeah, I feel really.
There's South Africa, Ghana, Mali, and Tanzania. I think Tanzania are the only team that
you don't
really have.
Yes.
But you can Mali, Ghana. I think South Africa should still be actually doing.
Yeah, they should actually.
But their main forward that is actually absent.
Not in this competition.
So for personal reasons, marketing might be might be a bad thing for
them.
But
I still feel they have quality.
They have enough to do it.
Especially in this group. I feel they are head shoulders above everybody else in this group. But yeah, football is interesting. Football is crazy. You could say, okay, I expect this particular team to go here, and them being without their striker now
it's really hard to difficult. It's difficult to predict. It's really difficult to predict. Well, I think that's the end of the video. That was actually a very quick one. Well, that's the end of the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't just watch. Like, share, and subscribe, because there are a whole lot of series that we're planning to bring to you. And the only time I stop is actually views and everything. So please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This Sideline Inside Football Podcast, and the season is up. Gradually coming to
the season is ending because the club World Cup is still part of
the last season. But at the end of the day, it's not as when you're playing like your proper team, and then your Barcelona is not in the Club World Cup, so you are just enjoying as a neutral. The pressure is not there. As an Arsenal fan too, there's no pressure. I'm just enjoying.
True,
the hypertension that your clubs give you.
Imagine if Barcelona being in the semi-final. But now I already think that how are we going to do? How are we going to do that? A whole lot of talk about that. So
so at the end of the day, that's all for today. So until come your way next time, take care, goodbye, and God bless. Bye.
Subscribe to my channel.